Welcome to the Safing live stream. I am Raphael.
And I'm Daniel.
No, very cool.
Have we done intros before?
I don't know. I don't
think
know.
so.
I'm just like, today everything has been a little bit tight, and we have just started basically now. Because I was in the middle of preparations. We have a little something today that we'd like to show you. As the title says, which I updated fairly recently now as well, we're gonna show you the beta release of Portmaster V1.1. I don't actually know what everything is that Daniel wants to show us, but we have a couple of things. Also, as a reminder, you have the Discord link down in the bottom. I have the Discord open. I also have the YouTube Live open. Innovative Dev, greetings. Nice to see you already here. And exactly, we'll see how the stream goes. Great. Daniel, do you want to give us a soft intro before I share
Yeah, sure.
your screen?
So, Portmaster version 1.1 will have the promised update to the SPN map with a lot of improvements regarding the information you can see and also regarding how things are displayed on the map in a way that kind of doesn't kill the user experience. So it's much more cleaned up, nicer, and there's a lot more information you can look at if you want to. Also, there's more summaries about information, so it's easier to get an overview if there are a lot of nodes in a country. So yeah, I'm excited to hop into it if you're ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'll share your screen in a sec.
Great.
Here you go. We're almost.
Hey, is that?
No, that's just. Now it's working.
Okay, a bug.
Yeah.
The typical OBS bug. Good. Okay.
Does it work? Yes.
Does it work? Yes.
A little
Great.
meme I found today on Programmer Humor. I wanted to share with you. It's a little bit of a meme, you know. We are aware that we're sometimes over-engineering stuff to save 2 hours.
Yeah, it can happen. But yeah, we learn. So
we try to at least.
okay, so we've thrown some traffic, so now we see some stuff. Let's go through it. So this is, of course, you know this, you know how this looks like. Nothing new. So
it broke again. I'm sorry.
Oh, it broke again. Oh, okay.
We're using an Elgato's cam link at the moment, and I'm not sure why it's not working. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. No, it's up again. It's
We'll
live.
see.
It's proper live, and we do this for the first time. So we'll see. Bear with us.
It froze again.
Okay.
Well, is there like a normal video format? All these look like
I have no clue, mate.
super weird.
We are streaming from a Windows PC, but to a Linux one. So,
yeah, so we're streaming the HDMI output back to another machine to get the proper experience. So it froze again. But you can just keep switching video format over there to keep
Exactly.
it running. Great,
This
good.
is-
Okay, so this is the normal thing you see here as you expect that with your network activity, and also here you can see the identities that every application has. That's as is, but now if we go to the map over here, we see a very different picture. So the first thing you'll realize that we've simplified how nodes show up on the map. So now it's not the country flag plus a name, because that led to things being weird. We only have symbols on the map, and we now have different symbols. So we now have the triangle symbol to show a safing node, so a node that we host, and you have the circles to show nodes that the community hosts. And you already see here that we have a very nice mix of both. So we're now right now using quite some nodes both from safing and the community. Let's maybe like scroll into this a little bit. Wait, how do I scroll here?
Yeah,
like this.
2 fingers.
Great. So we can also just click on a node, and if you saw that,
yeah,
it just drew the path from where, how we connected to that node. So now we see in this case, we connect from Austria to Italy, and then we go over to New York, and then we go a bit down to where the headcenter data center is, which is Ashburn. So having a full 3 hops here, and here we have a little bit of information about this node. We see, okay, it's run by safing. We have a small verified tick here, and we have CE2 as an exit node, and then we can also go here and show the details of this node if we want to know more about it, and it will give us a lot more details about this, if we're currently using it, how many hops we have until there, and how many exit connections are currently using it. We also see the route again, the same thing we see on the map, but here we have the countries and the IP addresses here. If we go a notch up in the details, we'll see also more here. So we'll see who's
host hatch.
Yeah, who the
host
host is, and more information.
The data center. Yeah.
And also, if you want to know more about how this node is connected, then we can click on connected nodes, and we'll get a full list of the connections that this node offers. This is pretty advanced, but if you like poking around, you can look into here, and you can also see to which other nodes this node is connected to and which latency and capacity it reports. So for example, to Nonus, that's a node that's hosted in New York, so it's not very far away. It has a ping of 80 milliseconds to that node with a bandwidth of 400 megabits duplex. So you can kind of look around a little bit here. Also, you see here's a community down here. You have a community node that is verified. So we already have some community nodes that are verified. If they're not verified, it just says community, and there's no tick here for that, as you can see here. So let's go back to the details, and in the exit connection, we can now click on this, and it will go to network monitor and filter all the connections that exit at this node. So now we see, okay, there's one Windows service exiting at that node, and here we have this one connection that goes through there. So this is this one. We can see the same information here that we saw before. So we can very nicely now see where our connections go through and query them.
Innovative Dev has a question, and I'm sorry I did not saw it live because I keep on looking to keep the video rolling so that it's actually, and we might do a video which we're going to share on the channel which is explaining it more, but because we're live, I'd like to answer the question which is live as well.
Let's go ahead.
Innovative Dev, please, maybe you need to explain a little bit better where it was, what you saw, but he was asking on that integrated trace,
yeah, so it's a kind of a trace
right?
route, but not on a network level. So of course, we don't get the information of what networks and routers are between two servers, but we have trace route on the SPM level. So you see how the connection hops through the network to the destination. Yeah, and that's a global view of all the servers that we're having here. Also, if we're not hovering over a country,
wait, I need to.
Oh yeah.
If we're not hovering over a country, yeah.
In the lower right corner, you have a overview of how many safing nodes there are and how many community nodes, and how many of them you're using. And
so
also,
in the wait.
So down here.
Yeah.
And also tells you which icon it uses to signify which. So if you're using a node as an exit, it has a lighter outline in addition to the color. And if you're not using it, it's just gray. And also the countries that have a node in it are highlighted a bit, so you can get a better grasp of how many nodes there are. So, but if we hover over a country, which you'll see in a second, then we'll get the stats of that country. So
in the bottom right.
In the bottom. So we have United States here with 9 safing nodes and 3 community nodes. And if we click the country, we actually get a list of that coming in a second to you. There we go. So you see a list of these, and also you can move this window out of your view. So, and then you can hover over them and it will highlight them on the map, so you can see where exactly this node is located. So I also have more information here. Here you can see how this node is used. So this is used as an exit and as a transit node, and this one is just used as transit, and this just uses it as an exit. And you can always also click on the little eye here, and it'll pop up the information about that node specifically if you want to know more about that one. So for example, here again, we have 10 exit connections. We'll click on that and we jump over to the network activity, where we can look at which connections exited here. So we have some near time stuff and Hacker News, and then also one Windows service that exited from the Nonos node within the last 10 minutes. So it's really a great improvement in how you can look at the SPN and get into like, where are your connections going, what are they doing, and how does your network profile look like. And also like really so beautifully shows us like what the SPN is and what it does for you. So here right now we see our connections are spread over 11 exit nodes, and using a lot more as the...
Yeah, I'm not sure why the thing doesn't update in the top left corner. Like
yeah,
the
so
tenant
there are some, we're still working on it.
Yeah, and it's still in beta, as you know. So
Yeah.
this is, you can switch channels into the beta channel. On the wiki, there's a great guide on how to do that. You can switch to the beta channel right now and have a look at it, have a crack at it, give feedback, also on the Discord.
Yeah.
This is what the beta feedback channel is for, to give us feedback on that regard. And we're testing it, trying to catch all this stuff. I recently had an issue with SPN connections while in the beta, and we have started looking into it. But this is the reason why we're asking you all to join the beta if you want, and if you're somebody who's watching us and who's interacting with us, and to that degree, it would be great to get feedback and to understand better what you find, what you want, and where it is going. Yeah, but this 1.1 is a big update, of course, for SPN map and understanding it. Especially, I think what we hope to better show, is the differences that we have compared to alternatives, be that VPNs, be that Tor, with the mixture of trusted nodes and community nodes and trusted community nodes. So people we verify, but we have no input into that server. We don't have any access to that server. It's their server, but we trust them. So and you trust us, and so this is sort of like how this works. We want to add like different settings for the future as well, where you can trust somebody who we maybe don't trust and stuff like that. So who knows? But sort of like those are just steps into that direction, so that you see what are our thoughts on how we want to display that, what are our thoughts on how you better get into it. And I think Innovator Dev already said it. It's really cool. It's more detailed, and I think it is, and interactive, so it's not just more information, but it's also hopefully presented in a way that you can explore that information in an intuitive way. And of course, feedback is always welcome. if you find something where you're like, hey, I don't understand that, please let us know, so that we can sort of like fix it. And you already had one of the things sort of like displayed there, how you move and window in there. There are multiple options for it, and we know of this. We want to homogenize this and get it a little bit more polished. Maybe not. Maybe we will release it before we have everything like in one sort of like same thing for everything. Maybe we'll release it faster.
Yeah, because it already is such a big improvement, like how it is now, even with the small bugs here and there.
Yeah.
It's already so much better. So yeah.
We want to give you this as fast as possible. Of course, it needs to work, but yeah, we'll see. Do you guys battle test the UI on some working stations with thousands of active connections because lots of informations? Okay, so Innovative Dev is asking in regards if we on thousands of active connections. I think this is not the typical user. Thousands of active connections.
Also, not everything is calculated in the UI, and that is one of the big things we did last year, that we moved calculation of connections to the backend, so the backend can accept such queries and can already do that for us. So it's not just in the UI, and it should actually perform quite well. Yeah, from what we've seen.
Yeah, and I don't know how often, you need to like Innovative Dev. Not that I'm saying that this is a bad suggestion; it's a great suggestion. But like typically you don't have thousands of connections and then open Portmaster and then try. This is not the typical use case. I'd say yes if you are curious, you're looking into the Portmaster, but then you don't necessarily have thousands of connections open at the same time, because like then you're probably doing something else. You know, and not have Portmaster open like the UI and look into it. But so the quick answer is no, we're not. This is the machine we're currently showing you this on, is one of the machines which is just like a testing machine for us, where and you see it's a Windows 10 machine. And for me, going into it to prepare this was very interesting as well, because I typically run Windows 11. But it was a nice machine for this to look into it and to give you a better understanding of what's going on. So we're doing testing locally on a couple of different machines, physical machines, different operating systems and stuff. But no, this is not part of our regular test suite. But if you want Innovative Dev, I know you're an SPN customer, so you can of course start spinning up many connections and
tell us how it went.
Exactly. Please do. I'd love to know. So yeah, no, we're not. But the reason for it is I don't think it's a typical user profile. If people disagree, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to learn and understand better what we should test and how we should test it. So when we push it from beta to stable, it's sort of like already how you would expect it, and that it's stable as the name implies. Okay, so the answer is, I see. For me, the UI is really fine even on some big numbers of active connections, but I don't have the SPN on this machine, so I was curious. The SPN works perfect on my dedicated VMs. Yeah, no, in VMs, if it's working in a VM, which typically has less power, well then, thanks for the info. But I understand dedicated probably also means less connections. Okay, what else do you want to share? Shall I sort of like switch back from the view perspective?
I don't think there's a lot more to share from the map perspective right now. I think we've seen the most important parts. Let me just check real quick.
Okay, it's not displaying.
I know it's not, but
yeah, I think it's just so you know. I think it's to do like the cam link, because I have been running it for so long. It's now very hot. Again,
I should have covered a bug, but it didn't show because. Okay, so yeah. No, I think that was it. We also showed the verified. So if you're running a community node, that's important. If you're running a community node,
I'll turn it back.
okay, then if you look at a map, you'll see that there's this verified tick that you're used to right by now from various network social things. That means that we've verified the person running that node, at least kind of to some extent. So we haven't had them ship us a driver's license or something like that. But it's people we are in contact with that kind of have a relationship with us that we talk with. So kind of we're like we can contact them and we kind of on a talking basis. And so the community nodes, just because they're verified, they don't immediately get a like special status just because of verification. That's something that we're thinking on in the future. Maybe we can improve things there. And also there's this separate system to the community nodes that is called the trusted system. Right now, only safing nodes are trusted. But if there's someone who wants to host more nodes and is a trusted partner, then we can also bring them into the trusted zone, which means that they will be allowed to handle unencrypted traffic, which of course is very sensitive because it's not encrypted. So right now, only safing nodes handle unencrypted traffic. So that's kind of also a big difference to Tor, where like your unencrypted traffic just goes anywhere through any random stranger's exit node. So yeah. And the reason we do this verified thing is that it's also an incentive for people to
get in touch.
Get in touch for one, but also kind of to get like credibility, or like for them to kind of appeal to SPN users, to the privacy community. As you've seen before, there's someone hosting a couple of community nodes in Australia, and they're
cool.
They're very, yeah, thanks for that, really cool. And their verified name is coinfunded.com. So there is a chap down there in Australia hosting some nodes, great. I'll check them out, who they are. And people can also find them through SPN nodes. So it's kind of had a bit of a touch of a sponsoring maybe, where you can kind of see, okay, who is this guy or gal hosting nodes there, and we can strengthen the privacy community in that way. So yeah.
No, sure.
That's what that is for.
Yeah.
Building trust.
Building trust, exactly. Yeah. No, this is absolutely an important part of it, and this is a cool step into that direction. We have been asked so many times, like I think last week I got an email asking somebody asking if the node in Switzerland is an official safing node, and I'm like, update to the beta channel. you see it right away. But of course, now seeing it with the triangles and the circles, it's makes it faster. It's and then going into it, who's that community node, who's hosting it. Building trust is such an important part of it. Yeah. Okay, do you want to say something more into the 1.1 release in general? Like, what else is happening? No, because Innovator Dev went into a different direction, and I would then continue there.
I don't think there's something else I wanted to. I think that is the main thing that happened in the 1.1 release. We had a couple improvements before, but I think we've talked about them in the last.
Sure. If we keep on talking about this stuff in the beta channel, of course, like the stable release stuff is not that interesting anymore. Do you want to maybe explain what happened to the AUR? Because there was an interesting situation last week. Wasn't it last week?
A couple of weeks ago, actually, I think.
So far? Okay. But we got somebody, Moss, I think, was talking about.
Yeah, someone thought that our AUR package was out of date, and granted, it looked like that, but it isn't because the AUR package is a stub bin, which is an installer which updates on install, so not an issue there. But the version was a bit older, and someone marked it as outdated, and somehow took over the package. So AOR, for those who don't know, is the Arch user repository, which is a very cool thing on one side because it's a very easy way for people to submit new packages to the ecosystem without having to host their own private package repo. As you definitely know, if you're a Ubuntu Debian user, there are these private repos that you have to add, and then you can get the software from there. The Arch ecosystem just has one big thing where everyone can contribute. Of course, you have to be careful what you download from there because it's just as downloading random stuff from the internet. But there's this upload system where you can like look at popularity and things like that to get an idea of how trustworthy something is.
Of course, if you look into it.
An idea of how trustworthy something is. You won't know for sure, but get an idea. And on there, we have a package maintained by us. And so this one guy just came and updated the version, which was nice of him. But then was like, okay, that's all I'm gonna do. That's it. I'm like, okay. So we took back ownership, and we're currently working on actually updating into the last version. The CI already works to almost being there, but there's one last issue that we're gonna fix hopefully next week or week after, and then it'll be fully up to date again. And yeah, I think that's the story.
Mike J said, never had any issues with Fedora. And Innovative Dev said, Arch users always crying on the weeps. Not getting into any distro battles here, but I sort of like can say me as a Fedora user as well, have no issues also. And we got Mesa drivers update recently on Fedora, so just for those people out there.
I'm not gonna jump into that topic.
Great. Great. Okay.
We'll keep it low profile.
Yeah, but so there's an update. The AUR package now is on the latest release.
Yeah. Also, the Windows installers is updated and it's already out. Hopefully, cool. I think it's uploading somewhere in the background, so should be up already. So great. Yeah, we're just kind of cleaning up installers again, and then
everything comes in phases. So exactly. If your issue is open for longer, rest assured we're sort of like we're going in circles and doing everything and then building on top and on top and on top, and in the end we have big stable tower hopefully, and we don't want to sort of like jump from one to the other just because somebody was like, oh no, I'd like to have this now, and we're like, no, we come there eventually.
We don't have enough people to focus on everything all the time, so we just go from topic to topic.
Yeah, even if I would say like focusing and having like one mindset change to the next, it's better. But whatever. So installers had recently an update, just so you know. Okay, Innovative Dev had another question. He would love a way to clean the network activity so I can play with custom profiles without fighting against the UI. I think there already is a way. You can refresh the UI, just hit Alt F5.
Well, I think clean network activity means forget everything that you've seen.
It does. Like it does not show the last 10 minutes if you hit refresh the UI, doesn't it? It doesn't display it, I think. You don't think so?
I think clean means just flush all connections to only see new ones from that point on.
Doesn't that do that?
No, it doesn't.
Maybe. We have a Portmaster open right here.
It doesn't.
You're sure?
Yeah.
It does for me. Not that.
Well, but that only loads the data fresh from the backend.
From the backend. Oh, I see. Yeah, you're
so
right.
we can't just flush the connections because Portmaster internally needs to know about them, because if packets arrive, it has to know about that connection and what to do with them. Else things will get weird. That means we'd have to actually build a filter that's like only show connections created after this point in time. But I think I'm trying to guess what your actual problem is here.
Mm-hmm. Great question.
And I think you're testing rules and stuff like that. But for some time now, Portmaster has been re-evaluating all connections, even the past ones, and updating the verdict. Of course, currently it feels like falsifying history, but under the hood, Portmaster already knows the history of the verdicts and has some data on that. We just don't display it yet in the UI. That's kind of a thing we're still missing to kind of complete that feature, to update the UI to correctly show that a connection was previously blocked and is now allowed, or was previously allowed and is now blocked. But if you change settings, the network activity should have all the new stuff. Maybe you have to reload the connections, but it will definitely show the correct stuff.
So what Innovator Dev is saying is, if you delete a profile, but this profile still has active connections, and even terminate it once, it will bug the UI and create that profile automatically. So if you create a custom profile for Steam in general, but you already had sub-profiles for the different applications, or like you do one for all your games in your Steam folder, a Steam games profile, custom profile, but one game has been open in the last 10 minutes. You cannot delete that game profile and start configuring the new one, the custom one, and you have to wait the 10 minutes so that all the connections are flushed out, and then you can start.
I understand.
Doing it.
So it doesn't actually create them.
The new profiles?
But there's an internal... How Portmaster works internally, it loads the profile from the database and then holds it in memory in order to have everything work with the same data. So you will be seeing what Portmaster holds in memory, but the database entry will be deleted and will just vanish. So it won't just recreate it. And after you restart, Portmaster should be on, definitely, or as soon as the last connection of that application is gone.
Of course, a very specific use case. I'm sorry, Innovator Dev. I know that, and the feedback is great, but it's like
it's a hard problem because it means we would need to like reassign connections to profiles, reevaluate settings, everything.
Past
The deleting is mostly meant for things that aren't actively running. But it's good to know that people are using it like that, and we can take that into account.
Yeah, I read it.
For
he said this. Yeah, he said this a couple of days ago on the Discord. You shared it. I read it there. But yeah, we've been busy. Thanks for bringing it up in the live stream again with a great answer, hopefully for everybody to hear and see and interact with. No, cool. Well done. I'm sorry. I guess the answer is this won't be something we will be fixing in the near future.
Yeah, I don't think we're touching the app profiles
too soon.
Yeah.
I agree. So
going
in circles.
Yeah.
This one is further out. So we'll see. Okay. Okay. You have something else you want to get into?
No.
No? Well then,
Do
no.
you have something?
No. That's all is fine. No.
Great.
Mike is writing something at the moment. It has been long weeks at the moment, so if you have topics for us you want us to prepare or discuss, please leave them in the comments below. So we have them for in 2 weeks. I'll also hopefully will create the link earlier this time, not on the same day again. Yeah, we'll see. You can also, of course, write stuff on the Discord. I know I typically lock the thing there, the conversation. Maybe I'll keep it open for a little bit longer for the future so that we can have it there. But the comments below are a great way to sort of like leave them with us. We get notifications via mail for each comment on our videos, so we at least should see them. And yeah, that's it. Innovative Dev is asking regarding another Valentine's sale in a year. It's okay, Innovative Dev. Maybe regarding SPN or like saving pricing in general, you can renew any plan as long as it's active. I think you keep the price. I think
I'm not sure because
I can tell you for sure that the Valentine's subscriber on a monthly basis were able to renew. This I can say
with that 100%. Price?
With that price, yeah, I know. I see it every month.
Okay.
So you will be able to keep that price. It's locked in for you. We don't have to do another Valentine's sale for you to keep that price. So you will keep it. If we try to honor this, like keep people grandfathered in, if we change the system at some points, it's not a guarantee. We cannot guarantee it for the future, but we wanted it to, like Daniel has been saying this for like, I think the last couple of weeks, we want to run Safing the way we think a company should be run. And so not changing prices for existing customers is one of those things where we're like, we want to keep it that way. Yeah. We cannot, like, I think we don't promise it. So it's sort of like a trust me bro thing for those just, LTT viewers out there.
Because it's kind of the ideal that we would expect from a kind of like perfect company, so to say. And that's the ideal that we want to like accustom to. But we've also experienced that we've chased some ideals in the past that weren't healthy for us as a company and for our progress. Yeah. And so we're not throwing stuff out the window. So we're not gonna do dumb stuff. But
with stuff like that, I think it's a great example. Yeah. We want to honor this, we want to keep it as long, but we don't make any promises, so we don't have to bend over backwards like multiple times to keep it that way. Yeah. So we have been thinking about like the customer hub and how the customer hub is changing. This is how we call
that's the payment system,
the account page system, internally. Exactly. But we want to keep it that way, and we will figure something out if you reach out, especially people who are active in the community. If we have to change it in a way that would break this, reach out and we will absolutely come to something, to some agreement. Yeah. And that's basically how we want to have it. That's basically how we think it should be done. So yeah. And no promises in regards to legal promises, but from how we want to do it, absolutely, this is the case. And yeah, say something, reach out, do it via Discord, do it via email. That's how we want to do it. Moon, I'm most likely late. Oh, Moon is asking what inspired us to create Safing. Cool question. Yeah, you are on the tail end. We wanted to wrap up, but I think it fits beautifully in.
Yeah, it does fit beautifully in.
Daniel, go ahead. So what did inspire?
So what inspires Safing? Okay, I'll give you a short version. There's a bit longer version in a blog post somewhere on our website.
I think there is, yeah.
Yeah, but the short version is that in 2013,
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Wow, 10 years ago. That's true.
The short version, Daniel.
That's true. So this guy called Edward took a couple documents and gave them a couple to journalists. And
Edward
the world, yeah, that was the hint.
I know.
Okay.
I wanted to say it, spell it out.
Edward Norton.
Gosh, innovated that.
Okay, so and that kind of was eye-opening on a couple levels. Of course, that it's not just spies kind of targeting like people directly and hacking them. That you don't stand any chance here anyway, but also that's so costly for them, they can just do it for single people. And that's kind of the area where I feel there's a balance to things. Of course, that's not cool, and you should probably protect yourself if you think you're such an exposed person. But the eye-opening thing was the dragnet surveillance, that you had all these companies who were willingly or unwillingly complicit in dumping so much information into their hands. And that's kind of where I, as an IT security specialist, I was like, okay, that's really cool to know about this, and also really cool to know they only, I think it's the same thing in English, they only use cook with water. So they just only, it's the same software, they don't have magic. They just have the same technology everyone else has. They just put it together correctly. So it's not hopeless on the one side, but on the other side, I knew how to protect myself from that. I can do the same thing. I can take all the software there is, plug it together, and create a perfect protection system for myself. It works. It's probably a lot of work. It will be cumbersome. It will be very shitty UX, but it works. I can do that. But what's with all the other people around me who don't have these skills and time and resources?
Yeah.
They just don't stand a chance. And we wanted to take a step and give these people a chance. And of course, this is a so multi-layered, multifaceted problem, and we decided to start somewhere. Yeah. So the first thing I actually attempted before safing was just a DNS service I built with tracking protection, but I quickly realized this is just too little. So I took the daring step to actually create a software, and that's kind of when safing came from, building this firewall and the network, and like bringing protection to everyone who wants to in a really easy way. So you don't need to configure it correctly. You don't need expert knowledge. It's one click and it works. It takes care of itself. Yeah. And that's the whole idea. Yeah. And that's the inspiration. Yeah. And we're still working on this today. Yeah. And we're hoping to grow this into a bigger and bigger movement, and that we can, from this one angle of the technical side, we can, if we're successful, we can grow this into more and more aspects of privacy online. On the one side, of course, that can mean creating more and different products that do different aspects. That's way out. Okay, so
but always people are asking if we do a browser.
Don't expect us to do a browser. Move out there with that one, or a password manager. Like all these other privacy companies right now are like bringing out other products. I'm like, what is going on right now? Like what? You see Proton Mail, great product, and they're like, okay, either they were like, let's cash off this one, of our reputation, or they're actually genuinely wanting to create good value. Not really sure about that one, but not speculating here. But all of them are trying to create a portfolio to like cover more aspects, and that's also something that we want to do, but not only technically, but also on the side of policy and governance. So starting to invest more into helping politicians to make good decisions, lobbying there for privacy, but also educating people, like hosting crypto parties, as they are still called, to educate people on privacy and stuff like that. So there's so much work to do. But first, we need to get Portmaster started. Need to get their business stable. So if you love what we're doing, please go and use Portmaster. Tell your friends. Purchase the SPN, because that's the fuel Safing runs on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to quickly address what Innovator Dev also said in regards to people say they have nothing to hide. I typically am more of the mind, like, it's not about me trying, it's not me being scared of what I'm doing, it's about me being scared of what you do with that information in the long run. I see more and more posts on the German subreddit, Me in Real Life, like the German version of it, where people are like waking up to what Schufa is doing in Germany, and like how they're keeping sort of like a social credit score, and sort of like telling like people what they're allowed to buy and purchase, and sort of like stuff like that. This is happening in Germany. It's next door to us. And this has been a long thing. Like, I told this story to other people in the past as well, where if you're getting a loan for a flat that you would need to be able to take a new job, and if Schufa tells the bank no, they won't give you the credit, and you can't take that new job, and you don't get a pay raise, and sort of like you're in this...
You're locked into your class.
You're locked into your class, exactly. Yeah. And this is such a bad like outlook for the future, and we see like what we do to not sort of like just being like you able to be private, but for you to sort of like be yourself online, and not everybody like collecting all that data who they think you should be, you know. I always also tell people, like, it's not just about like who I am right now, it's who I want to be in the future. And if, for instance, the search engines already have this class of you in their mind as well, if you don't know something, you web search it, and what they show you is what is out there. Everybody is joking, like Google page 2. This is like if you're on page 2, you don't exist. Well, that's also true. That's true for the service which is on page 2. But it's also true for you not knowing what's out there, what else is out there, and stuff like that. So sort of like being private does like hinder the other companies in regards to profiling you, in regards to showing you filtered stuff that's tailored to you and the class they see you in, you know. And this sort of is what we're thinking of as well.
And if you're interested in like learning more about this whole dilemma, there is actually a term for it. It's called surveillance capitalism. There's a great book called The Age of Surveillance Capitalism from Shoshana Zuboff. She coined that term. Rockwell actually read that.
and I would not say it's too
big.
But I would not say it's too great. That's all I'm saying. I disagree with some of the stuff in there as well, just to clarify this a bit.
But it's very nice that she actually started that discussion in that way. Also, I just love the term surveillance capitalism, because it expresses so much of what actually where we're at. It's about exploiting people through surveillance for profit.
Yeah. And it's a great starting point to think about that stuff. As I said, like if you only do web searches and you don't get exposed to new ideas, you're sort of like locked into a way of thinking, into a way of like where you're going and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I watched this great video on YouTube, Present Past, I think is his name. And he did a video on why we think, or what, or sort of like the question was, why do so many people think that people in the Middle Ages thought that the Earth was flat? And apparently this was not the case, but I got taught this information as well. And every time I tell somebody, they're like, no, you misunderstood. They did think that. And I'm like, I mean, it's one video, and it's still YouTube. It's people online talking about stuff. I mean, it's the same thing as we're doing right now. But like from that regard, I'm like, we're sort of like, we don't research this stuff as much anymore. And it's, I think, just like being aware that what you share is also like creating a profile about what you get in the future. I think it's a great thing. And we're passionate about people being themselves, and sort of like, bring this anonymity that we have in the physical world to the online world as well. I'd like to say, like, I'm able to window shop offline, go from store to store, and I don't have to sort of like show ID or verify myself by walking in. I just can browse and I just can experience and figure out what I want, and then like,
without being lured to buy something specific or kind of.
Yeah, but this is also this is again transactional. But like if I go into a library, all the books are the same, and I can go through the books as I want, and it's not like those 3 books are the ones you should read, or those 3 videos in the video store are the ones you should watch. You know, but with all those algorithms being tailored to us, it's sort of like showing you only the thing that they think you should see. You know?
Yeah, and then you end up in a bubble.
Of course.
And believing the Earth is flat.
Okay, well, I quickly, I'm sorry, I did not read all the comments. Mike J, it's all going to be about social credit score, especially with the CBDC issuance.
That's the central dollar, the idea of the US creating a central blockchain dollar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about it.
I don't know what the acronym exactly stands for, but that's kind of the US digital dollar.
Oh yeah, and Mike J said we should not forget to mention Extreme Privacy. The other book, it's by Michael Bazzell. We've been in that. It's the same book, just 2 different versions of it. Like this is the 3rd, and I think this is the 4th edition. Saving has been in since the 3rd edition in the book as a recommended tool. So this is the reason why we bought all of them. Central bank digital currency is what it's.
Okay, that's a more generic term.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, Innovative Dev said, I know, I just told that because they need to be educated. Yeah, I so agree, people need to be educated about privacy, and that's the thing. And we hope that Portmaster, as you were already saying, like sharing it, I today saw a post on Privacy Guides again, where people are asking where should I start? And I agree with like change your email, change your web search and stuff like that. But blocking trackers is such an important part as well. And what Portmaster does, it's blocking trackers like from an operating system level as well. Yes, the browser is your window into the internet, but more and more stuff is connecting to the internet on its own as well. Which is sort of like which inspired us as well to build Portmaster.
Also, browser extensions themselves are not subject to other browser extensions. So browser extensions cannot block connections from another browser extension, but Portmaster can. Yeah. So I just read an article about more malicious
browser extensions
in the Chrome store. So
be aware of what you install. Be aware of what you get in there. AdBlock Plus, for instance, famously a trader ad blocker. They're like selling your data. uBlock Origin is the one most people would recommend. We have not verified their credibility, but I use uBlock Origin. Okay, and then Innovative Dev, I can find all colleague pics of most of my friends, college pics of most of my friends after alcohol and Facebook. Yeah, they're public and they don't care. If it's really sad for me because pretty sure they lost many jobs because of that. I don't know. Like we employ people. I do not look at social profiles. I mean, I will click on a LinkedIn link if I have a LinkedIn link in the CV, but you should sort of like, if you put something into your CV, you should expect people to click on it. Like I will open the GitHub link, I will open the LinkedIn link. If you put your Facebook link in there, I would probably click on it as well in a VM, so I don't get any shady business, but yeah, no, if you put it into a CV, but I don't sort of like, I want to, like we have a period where sort of like we and the employer both can sort of like cancel a contract at any time. And I'd like to get to know the person, I think people can change. I think people should be allowed to change. And I think I should evaluate a person on like who they are right now. I've been such an like interesting kid, I'd say, to put it into nice terms. And I think I'm a way different person than I think my teachers would have thought I would end up being. So way more beard than they would have thought, I guess, as well. Okay. uBlock, Innovator Dev again on YouTube. uBlock is an all-in-one blocker. It serves me to block JavaScript as well. I don't think so, but JavaScript, I don't know. I use NoScript for that. Not only ads, but yeah, it's a mix of network block level and local block. Not everything can be blocked at network level. Yeah, that's true. For instance, YouTube ads can be blocked, but I don't think they track the ads themselves. I mean, if people are like, well, stuff does not work with Portmaster when I'm logged in, and I'm like, you're logged in already, like you're already telling them who you are. Like, don't expect us to sort of like protect you in that regard. Like, if you're logged in, Portmaster is not blocking you from uploading drunken pigs to Facebook. Exactly.
If you do that, you're doing it yourself.
Exactly. Of course, you can block Facebook, and then you're sort of like blocking yourself from sort of like getting you to access Facebook. But yeah, we're not. Yeah. You do you, and we want to help you be more private while you do it. But we don't force you to do anything. Okay. Apparently, Innovative Dev says uBlock has all functionality of NoScript. Have not looked into it. I have both of them next to each other. So that's just me. Mike J says NoScript is great, and I agree. Well then, wrap up. We're pushing the hour, so yeah. Daniel.
Last words.
Last words, exactly.
Check out the new SPM map on the beta.
Yeah.
Give us feedback. That would be great.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. Yeah, I agree. Other than that, like and subscribe. Apparently, we have gotten a steady growth of subscribers to the channel. Interesting. Of course, like the tutorial videos are the most watched. I guess we should update them. We might do that in the future. Yeah, also.
Tell us which tutorial videos you would like.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, you're already watching us on YouTube.
Yeah, you're the audience.
Please tell us what we should do. Yeah, I know that the install video is old and has been chopped up. It has been one video before. And we chopped it up, so we'll see. And the other one, I think, is just basic Portmaster stuff, but I think the UI has changed in the meantime. We'll see. Yeah, tell us in the comments below what you would want to see. Not doing any promises in regards to when we're going to do that.
But it would be great, like if we see there's a big need for something,
that's true.
Then of course we can like look into prioritizing that.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Yeah.
Tell
Absolutely.
us if you see someone suggested it, chime in and be like, yes, that's it, and not just someone else already said it. Be active.
Yeah.
We need to like know. We need the feedback to know what is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, great addition. Okay, well then, see you all in 2 weeks. Again, leave the comments, like, subscribe, and